In example 1, we're supposed to find -8 thirds plus 5/6. Remember when we have one of each, a negative and a positive, we're actually subtracting instead of adding. And of course, the first thing you can do is always estimate. So we're going to say that 3 goes in 8 twice, and that's 6, and then it's 2 thirds, so it's more than half. So we're going to estimate that to be -3. We're going to say this is really, really close to 6, 6, or 1. So -3 plus 1 should be really close to -2. So we're looking for that kind of an answer. So then we have to take -8 thirds plus 5/6 is going to actually equal, putting a common denominator in here would take them both to sixths. So we're going to multiply this by 2, so this by 2 to get -16. So there are my problems. So my negative kind of gets attached to the numerator because the denominator stays the same. So then I have -16 plus 5. And you remember when we have -16 plus 5, my negative is bigger. It's actually a subtraction problem, and I'll give it a negative sign. So this should be -11/6. But remember, we cannot leave it improper. So we decide how many times 6 goes into 11, which is 1 whole, and it's going to be negative because you have one of each. So -1, and then that leaves 5 left over out of 6. So your answer is -1 and 5/6 is the sum. So then our second example is going to be very similar. We're going to do a decimal. So again, we're going to add the two of these, but really because one of each sign, we're actually subtracting, and then we're going to give it the bigger sign. This one happens to be positive, so the answer will be positive after we're done subtracting. So you take the absolute values of both of them and subtract. So basically it's 7.62 minus 4.05. And when you do that, you get the sum of 3.57 or 357 hundredths. So remember that you just line up the decimal points and subtract. So you line up your 4.05 and subtract, just like normal. So if you think you understand these two, you can go to the next page and try some on your own.